Okay, welcome to the Game Hub podcast. Today is Thursday, the 21st of March, and that's totally wrong because it's actually April. Thursday, April 21st. We're off to a great start. I'm Kyle.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Todd.
And yeah, today we're going to do, I think we're going to just, I was thinking about this, we should just call it the 5, not like a top 5, because I like the idea of doing a top 5 or something, but today is not, damn it, today is not a top 5, it just is a 5 of something. So, anyways, the 5 for this week is going to be the 5 members of our zombie apocalypse team. We gave it restrictions that it can't be anybody, they're fictional, that's key, although you can have real people if you want, they're just far less effective. Odds are. Unless you know some very effective at killing people. That's creepy, all of a sudden. But they can't be from zombie apocalypse fiction. So that made it a little trickier. And Mitch and I have been laughing and having fun with ours for the past week. We have no clue what Todd's are. He is keeping this total secret, although I've got a feeling 3 of them are Benedict Cumberbatch characters. So yeah, we're going to do our 5 for our zombie apocalypse teams. We got a bunch of different geeky news we're going to go over, and we're going to talk about some things going on in the store over the weekend, and just tabletop day coming up at the end of the month, because it's tabletop day, and that's awesome, and everyone should come. Or if you're not going to come here, go somewhere. We'll get to that later. So let's get started. So yeah, our 5 members of our zombie apocalypse team. It is...
Did you forget yours already?
We wrote them down. I can't really forget it. I'm screwing up my notes. There we go. Yeah, so our zombie apocalypse team, trying to figure out who would be, for my team, I wanted to be some, like, effective. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody works well together, was part of the point, too. Nobody is just going to outright kill other members of the team, although even if there are fail-safes. So, first person in my team, functional, it's, my wife rolled her eyes at me. She said, really, Spider-Man? And I was like, no, I'm not doing it for Spider-Man. It's specifically for Peter Parker. The reason being, and it's functional, the super genius intellect seems like an obvious giveaway. You could, just the ability to figure out how to build stuff, just a knowledge of science and everything when everything's down to just bare bones, seems like it'd be super useful. There was the Discovery Channel had an awesome reality show called The Colony. Man, my brain is just crapping out all over on me already. We're like 3 minutes in. They had a show called The Colony, and what they did is that they had like a whole warehouse district somewhere in LA that was vacant and abandoned, and they did it as like an apocalypse simulation. They brought in about 12 different people, and here you go, like you have nothing, and just had them all survive. But what was neat, without thinking too much about how this couldn't actually happen, is that every single person was a very specific professional. You had a machinist, you had an engineer, all these, a doctor and a nurse, all these different roles. The engineer guy was great. They put all the stuff together. They're like, we need this, like, we're going to go get the solar panels, strip them down off that roof, and they, all the stuff they put together, and they made a livable situation for them. And the show made it weird, because of the showness of it, but it was really neat. And that's kind of part of the reasoning behind Peter Parker for me was that intellect. But the other most helpful part, I'm going to talk really slow now to let my brain keep up, is the danger sense. And I don't need to really explain that. That's kind of a dead giveaway. It plays into other characters of mine well. So
you could have done Man Spider, and then he would have had 4 arms and
that's horrible.
And super web
to
surround your base with.
I could go Peter Parker when he had 6 arms if I wanted to, because then he could build stuff 3 times as fast, right?
Exactly.
It works like that. They don't get in the way. And that was really bad in the comics because like he would still like go to college. I think he was in college then, but he'd just have like the other 4 arms. Oh no, he could suck him in, and it was just fingers sticking out.
That's
like,
really creepy.
It was stupid. It was stupid. Okay, so someone else next. I totally forgot. We need to do these in about 2 minutes apiece, and I'm already blowing it. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever on this. So, Mitch.
Okay, so I'm just going to go down my list. And my first one is Boba Fett, because he's Boba Fett.
That's the whole reason.
But he's a skilled marksman, and I may not get the slave one, but I get his armor. So that's flamethrowers, rockets, all sorts of little.
Sorry. We got something all of a sudden I want to talk about later on. I just saw my phone looking at something else.
All sorts of. He's like Super Batman.
Super Batman.
Yeah.
And he can, if necessary, he can disintegrate zombies.
Exactly.
Now, do you get the ship?
No, but we'll get to that.
that factors in.
Because you said no. If I get the ship, then Super Boba Fett.
Super Boba Fett.
Because then I have a carbonite storage chamber, and who doesn't need a carbonite storage chamber?
What are you going to store other than the other people on your team?
Food, long-term storage.
Exactly. They don't need to eat if they're frozen in carbonite.
Oh, this is so. Because everybody needs to be blind. That happens with carbonite freezing.
It's only temporary.
Yeah.
It does. You don't. So is being a zombie. Until you get killed, it's temporary. All right, Todd. What's the first of your mystery team?
I went with a superhero that probably a lot of people really don't appreciate, but I kind of like him. Forge. He's genius level. He can pretty much make anything, including high-tech stuff like force fields, guns that neutralize superpowers, all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'm super jealous of Forge. I'm super jealous of that choice.
He's also like a war veteran and a leader. He also does like Native American sorcery and stuff, which is weird. But
yeah, I think that one's just kind of like thrown in.
Yeah,
it's like, oh look, Harry Potter's getting big. Let's Forge can cast spells too because he's a Native American.
Mm-hmm.
Totally not racist, but totally racist. No, Forge is awesome. He's always been one of my favorite characters, and I totally blanked on it. Did Peter Parker become Forge at some point? No, damn it. I'm locked in. I'm locked in on Peter Parker, so I can't change.
Peter Parker's a good choice.
Yeah, Forge is a better choice. I'll give you that. All right. Next one for me is Zoe Washburn from Firefly. Just dead obvious. One of my first choices when I put my list together. Actually, I think she was my first choice. Combat expert, fiercely loyal to her group. Follows orders, because this is my team too. This isn't like they need to follow directions. I mean, that sounds horrible in a way, but there does, like, in situations there needs to be leaders. I'm going off on a weird tangent as usual, but Zoe is like trained and tested and gets the job done and does it well. And God, even wounded, comes back for more.
She's awesome.
The comics, she essentially escaped from prison, where the prison was just like, if you go out into the desert, you die. And with help, she escaped. But she's just the ultimate badass, and it's kind of necessary, and the loyalty, and nice. I don't know. What? There was a repopulate the earth comment that was also brought up a number of times in our lists. I think my favorite one of that was when Mitch said, I should probably have a woman on my team. Like, it's not a necessity. Like, there's going to be other people in the world. Someone brought up the whole thing, like, you want to have more than one woman. Yeah, we're trying to stay away from the creepy aspect, and we've hinted at it enough already now. So, hey Mitch, what's yours?
My next one is Magneto, because if I don't get the slave one, he can build the slave one with his mind.
He doesn't know how to build slave one.
That has the schematics.
Does he? Oh, that's convenient. Where does he have them?
Stored. He's got a data pad with the schematics on it at all times. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Why does he have the data pad with the cure to the zombie virus?
I'll get to that.
Oh my god, are you serious?
But he can
it's layers.
He can pull up a chunk of metal from the earth and then turn it into little BBs and send it out and kill hordes of zombies at the same time. So he's
and there's going to be scrap metal everywhere too.
Yes, and depending on the canon, he does have a genius intellect as well. And he does have a nice side, He's part of the good guys right now.
Everybody was nice at one point. Well, he's functional. I'll give you that. I doubt
transport.
Your team right now is a couple like. Oh, there's a lot of murdering going on. That's.
Well, there's zombies. The murder needs to happen.
That's creepy. That's a creepy thing to say.
Well, like, you're building Rick's team. I'm building Negan's team.
That was a great comment in The Talking Dead too, where it's like you could do the same show from do The Walking Dead from the beginning with Negan and how they got to here, just going down similar paths but with different end results. Yeah, that was a creepy thing to bring up. All right, Todd's mystery number 2. Forge we had talked about before, so that one I had forgotten.
This one I think was mentioned once before too, but my second is Commander Data from Star Trek. He has a phaser and a tricorder, which would be very useful. He has knowledge of history, engineering, medicine. He's got super strength. He's not biological.
Now, is he... Because I thought about Data for a while with mine, too, where I was like, I need someone that's immune. I was like, but man, he's going to be boring. And my wife said, like, well...
He has an emotion chip.
Yeah. And so is this emotion chip Data?
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah. We could always take it out.
Like, because I would really get... Yeah. We can always take it out.
Well, that's true.
Like, you're really annoying us, Data. Just...
and he has knowledge of high technology. So, with the help of Forge, we can build, like, food replicators and things like that.
You know who all of a sudden I want to put onto my team? Baymax. Because he, like, the wide scan, he's fun, he's a nurse.
Yeah, but you move the suit because...
Yeah, in the suit. No, it's Baymax. He could be in and out of the suit. Like Magneto could put it on him. We should. We'll combine all our teams at the end of this. Alright, and then there's a theme with the rest of mine. It was completely accidental. Number 3 for me is a little bit obscure. It's a character Penny from The Magicians. You could either go books or TV. The TV show for me. The primary things I'm going with this character. One, he's a magician. It's a wide variety of magic available to him. But specifically, he can read minds. What comes with that is he can hear thoughts. So there's the danger sense kind of comes in a pair with Peter Parker on that one. But he helps a little more with the danger of regular people. The big one, though, is a group teleport. And that's not, in the show, that's not a skill everybody can do. Actually, he's one of 2 people that can, that's it. Anyways, neither here nor there. The group teleport factors into the danger sense, and travel, and just a way to get away, get around. That would be super powerful. And then battle magic. Because he was one of the few people who could do battle magic in this first season, effectively. And then just a nice guy, a good guy to have in the group, and helps the group even though he doesn't want to. It seemed like it'd be a real good fitting character. These guys know nothing about the guy I'm talking about. So I think, and honestly, probably nobody listening. There are very few people listening get it as well. I will recommend, though, I think it said July 17th, The Magicians, the first season comes out. I would highly recommend watching it if you're over 18. Because, although it is on Sci-Fi, it is... I swear to God, they just film everything and then let people, the censors cut out some stuff and then they just bleep out the rest. The first third of the season is totally fine, and then there's a lot of sex, a lot of language, but it is very, very entertaining and very understandable too. It's essentially a college for magicians. That's it. Yeah, Penny from the Magicians is my number 3.
My number 3 is Hal Jordan, specifically as the White Lantern, because we said it was not a viral zombie plague, so that means he could technically bring the zombies back to life, or if a member of my party dies, he can bring them back, because he can't revive the Marvel zombies, because it's a virus which is technically alive, so to bring the person back, he would have to kill the virus, which is against the White Lantern code.
Well, you got a couple other people who could deal with that.
Yeah. See, or you could just have Magneto kill him and then bring the body back. Either way.
The other cool thing about Hal Jordan is Hal Jordan's power ring can make more power rings. So he could make you a ring.
Oh, yeah. See?
Oh, God, no! Oh!
See, this...
My first wishes were more wishes.
Like, should have done the genie.
Why did we do genie? Damn it!
Plus, you get to listen to Robin Williams all the time.
Oh, no. See, now it's off my list. Like, that would be awesome. For a little bit. And then after a while, it's like, seriously, guys, let's tone it down. Like, I love Robin Williams, but he was a bit intense.
I still think Hal should have been Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, we'll digress for a moment. We were trying to put together the worst possible team, and it was like Fran Drescher, Gilbert Gottfried, or that we were just doing bad voices. Roseanne, and people that would be wholly ineffective. Vern Troyer.
He'd survive somehow. But
and that kid Froggy from the remake of the Little Rascals. The little kid that wanted everyone always picking on me. That was a different movie. But the kid with an insanely deep voice that he could pull off. There's the bad team right there.
Yeah.
Or you just need to put someone in that's going to kill the rest of them.
I did.
Oh, it's creepy. I don't know who it is. It's Fran Drescher. Fran Drescher is Negan.
She's the nanny. She's like,
oh, that's so wrong. Oh my god. Okay, Todd, please bring us out of this hole. This is not how I thought this would go at all. We have turned left.
So my third and fourth picks were, the first two were kind of filler support. These two were what I kind of built the team around. And I went with a different concept for my team, and not just surviving, but it's more of a selfish...
people I want to hang out with.
Yes, if I could meet any fictional people, who would be awesome in post-apocalyptic?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
So my next one is Elilith. She's from Clandestine, Marvel comic, and she has the power to grant immortality. She is a genie, by the way.
So
he got the genie.
She can destroy powerful creatures without any effort, and she can blast things, and yeah.
I was trying to, like, I'd thought...
Oh, she's very attractive, too.
we ruled that one out, Todd. We're all going to get in trouble now.
No.
Jamie won't watch it, so...
I had thought about the Beyonder for a while, from Marvel. I thought about, like, omnipotent characters.
I thought about Dr. Manhattan.
Somebody brought up, Dr. Manhattan. Somebody brought up Galactus when we talked about it in shop. It's like, that's bad.
He'll just destroy the whole planet and you'll be fine.
Silver Surfer was on my short list too.
He's not too crazy powerful though. He's really good.
He's just about the most powerful. I could bring out my old '90s trading cards. I mean, it's got a rated. There's bar graphs on those, or line graphs in the second series. That's a really good choice. Granting immortality, but yeah, I think that would keep you from becoming a zombie if you couldn't die. So, but here's the catch: zombies are immortal. So what if that is the immortality she grants? What if she's like, I'm going to reference another one.
Well, you have to be specific.
The supernatural genies, the ones in Supernatural. They grant you a wish by locking you in a dream state, and then they just drain your blood.
Nice.
That's part of why I didn't pick Wolverine or Sabretooth, because they'd be excellent fighters, but once they became zombies, you'd have an immortal zombie that could just regenerate and come after you forever.
But how could he, like, because Wolverine I thought about too, but I was like, he's a pretty solid loner character, and if things go crazy, he could easily kill any of us.
Well, I would have to put Rogue on my team, and then as long as I have Rogue, he wouldn't abandon us.
How can we just... It's someone that's, like, easy mind control, and that's on your team. Except for, how are they not going to mind control you?
Because I'll have Magneto's helmet.
How do you know you're not being mind controlled?
That's true. That's true. I would reference a TV show. But again, I'm the only one that gets these. Which segues into my next one. Rin Tosaka from Fate's Stay Night. Again, a magician, variety magic, but specializing in battle magic. And just a younger character, but works well as a team, even though she doesn't want to at first. I just like the idea of having another well-trained battle magician, but magic in a different sphere, different variety from Penny, and can create bounded fields that can protect us from stuff outside or keep stuff inside. Just a variety of magic available, but real solid functional battle magic to use, because that's the biggest danger in this apocalypse, in my opinion. That's a quick one, because again, there's no commentary other than me on that one. So, Mitch.
My next one is the only girl on my team, only woman on my team side, and it's Darth Revan, because it's a woman in my playthrough, so it counts. It's the protagonist from Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars video game for the original Xbox or your Android phone. I have it on mine.
If you listened or watched to last week's episode, then you'll recognize Darth Revan. Also, you'll also recognize Boba Fett from that one too. But
there was a Star Wars list.
oh yeah, that's true.
But because through character development, you have access to light side and dark side powers, so you can heal. She can do Force Storm, which is like lightning, limited power. But you just like raise a hand and it just electrocutes everything that's hostile to you, and like it's
Just hostile?
Just hostile.
So you're playing the zombie apocalypse with friendly fire off.
Yes.
That's no, you can't do that.
Fine. Then she can direct it at her enemies.
Just everybody duck.
Or she can do like force push. I'm assuming she has a lightsaber, so she can throw that out there. Yeah, just and the light side powers too, so she can heal people, mind trick if we run into hostile people that aren't zombies.
Seems good.
That we don't want to just kill with Magneto.
So, the greatest person on my team is a guy named Leon Nunez. He is a mutant from the Young X-Men comics. And his mutant power is he can grant superpowers through iconic imagery. And he's a tattoo artist. So,
okay.
For example, you can tattoo wings on your back and now you have super flight. Cheetah spots on your chest and you have super speed.
So you just get a full body tattoo.
He even gave someone...
he just writes on everybody not a zombie or immune.
He even gave someone the equivalent of the Phoenix Force power, but he passed out when he did it.
So it actually does tax him to do it.
A little bit, yeah.
Did you know him before? Did you
No,
know of him
no, I
before?
did not.
Oh, you're
No, I did
so
not.
dirty. Todd is like the internet research / stalker expert. Anytime we get
take that.
we
Well,
no, anytime we've had online orders where we're it's questionable whether they're is this going to oh, it was paid for out of Florida, but we're shipping it to Colorado. What's up with this? He finds the house is shipping to, or oh,
just Google streets.
It's a vacant lot. No, we've had we had one the other day, and you're well, he's got a name and a city. I can and yeah, we didn't mail that out.
That one was weird.
That was
3 different states, 3 different names.
Yeah, it was the phone number was New York, the billing address was in Florida.
Yeah,
it was shipping to Georgia, and the email address was somebody's name, and it was not linked to the first 3. So yeah. If you're going to commit fraud, don't be dumb.
Also, don't commit fraud.
That's true as well. That's a much better advice that I give. I'm not in the business of advice or fraud, for that matter. Oh, Leon Nunez. I'm gonna have to. That sounds pretty cool. I like that one a lot. So I've got 1 left. You got 1 left. Okay, we're all down to 1. Last one for me is another caster, another magic user of the sort, a little more shaman. From Wildstorm comic, The Authority, I took to the Doctor. Not to be confused with the Doctor from Doctor Who. Specifically, I needed someone, I was putting my team together. It's okay, we're protected. If we need to fight, we can fight. If we need to travel or get away, we can do that. Wait, how do we just survive? How do we eat after that? And I was racking my brain trying to come up with I googled fictional chefs or fictional cooks. I was like, this is the worst. These are who made lists of these?
Just chef from somewhere.
Oh god, I had Ratatouille, come up. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, none of these are functional in any way. They're all just, they're fictional cooks.
Yeah, but the rat itself wouldn't eat that much, at least.
I know, but like, it's all, you still gotta find the food, and that's the problem. Although, okay, the rat's a scavenger.
Yes.
So,
See?
also...
See?
And is it the type of zombies that don't attack animals and only attack humans?
I don't know. That's debatable. If we're kind of sticking with the Walking Dead zombie virus, where there's no virus, it's just if you die, you come back. Then those ones do attack animals. Animals are just immune. And he's like a bite away from death, but he's fast. Anyways, I did not choose Ratatouille. The doctor from The Authority, his power is he can change anything into anything else. There's a scene I talked about that happened in the comics where fat-grown superheroes flying down invading, and he just like reached out and they all shattered into pieces and fell down, and everybody's like trying to dodge, and he just goes, I feel, oh, sorry, they all plant in the ground, and then just trees erupt out of the earth. And he passes out, and he's like, is he okay? And it's like, just give him a break. He reforested Los Angeles. He could just make food. But, like, he's got other functional abilities, too. He can, like, make walls. He can make shelter out of nothing. He could provide Peter Parker with components that he could build into things. It's all available. I guess I kind of did have an omnipotent character, because I'd say he qualifies, but
And Hal's pretty close to being.
Hal's pretty, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we all went down that road. Actually, I think your last choice is pretty darn close to omnipotent.
Yeah.
And also, by far, actually, I want to do Todd's.
Okay.
Todd's number 5, because you will see.
Okay, so my last one. So I already have people in my group that can grant immortality, grant pretty much any superpower, build any kind of technology that we would need. So my final person is Bradley.
Oh, crap,
Yeah.
we're assholes.
It was supposed to be fictional.
Oh my god. That's Todd's wife. That is sweet. I feel like a huge jerk right now. Man.
Because if I'm going to have immortality, I need to spend it with someone, so.
Oh. Well,
I did have some
honestly,
good alternates, though. If you
honestly,
run down
like,
them really quick.
we never said that there's nobody else in the world. So, like, first thing clearly we're going to do is find my wife.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. See? There. Okay. There. Whew. I saved myself on that one. We're just going to do that too.
Yes, I'm gonna get Jamie and all our cats.
Yeah, our kids. We're gonna save everybody we want to save. Oh man, now I feel super bad. Well, I still want to say no offense to your wife. Mitch's final choice is the most amazing, most inspired, like out of left field choice. It's like that is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and he's also one of the most powerful fictional characters.
Yeah.
It's Jake from State Farm. Because all he needs is for someone to say the jingle, and you can teleport anywhere. You can get a sandwich
with a hot tub. Like,
can I get a hot tub?
Oh, anything you need. He can fix everything.
And can I get a slave one?
Oh. Oh my god. You have your omnipotent character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jake from State Farm.
Through the power of khakis.
That is. Oh man. I can't say anymore how much I love that choice. It's perfect. Alright, so that is our 5. That is our 5, each of our 5-person plus our wives zombie apocalypse team. So the next thing, actually, I wanted to bring up really quick was when I went to bring something up on my phone and got this news, and it's not really nerdy news, but it's pretty damn awesome. And it was at the, I'll bring it up here so you can see just the headline. That is not the right headlines, that's about earthquakes. Treasury Secretary has decided, United States Treasury Secretary has decided to replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill with Harriet Tubman. And I think that's badass. I think it's an overdue thing. Having a daughter, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think both for minorities and for women, and just in American history, is a very, very awesome thing. I would love to see, though, America go the route of other countries where it's not like Washington's on the one, period. Like there's changes and there's cycles.
That would be interesting.
Oh god, that would make kind of money.
Considering we have most of them on coins and paper, you could double the amount by having different ones on coins and different ones on paper.
Yeah, but there's so much in history. History is something that plenty of people geek out about. And, there's so many awesome people in history I'd love to see like float around, because that would just spread the knowledge for people, like who's this guy on the $5 bill, things like that. Like it would be awesome. I really hope right now that it is Andrew Jackson on the 20.
Why couldn't they put multiple people on one bill? Like they have the quarters that have all different imagery on them. Mm-hmm. They could put like 10 different people on one.
Yeah, you could have like you could have like Edison and Tesla on one bill. Like that I don't
That'll
think
be the first digital money.
Sadly, like America has this obsession with Thomas Edison, so odds are that's who would just go there. Mm-hmm. But it should be the two of them together. Mm-hmm.
Because everything you know and love comes from Tesla.
Hold on, where's that game?
Can
you see it right here? You can't see it right here. For anybody that is curious at all, interested at all, Tesla versus Edison is an amazing board game. We have it in the shop. I actually got my copy off of Kickstarter because the second I saw this, I don't even know. I think it took me about 2 minutes to decide to kickstart this one. And it's a fantastic board game as well, but it's got a lot of good historical significance, things that you do in this. There's propaganda actions that you can take, because it was alternating current versus direct current at the time. And obviously, alternating current and Edison pretty much won that battle.
We totally didn't do this to segue into the board game.
This had nothing to do. This is, like I said, we're coming off of Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
But play that game. You can come check it out in shop if you want. I don't mind. I am more than happy to show people.
This is an open copy that you can play.
Yep. Yeah. We have all of these. Everything you see behind us is available for play, and if we're available, we will show you how. So yeah, Tubman on the 20 is an awesome thing that's happening. So just next on track was just news, and we're gonna rapid fire these kind of, because we did some research and just things we were looking at coming out. First thing that I wrote down, the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I'm excited about that just from being a role-playing nerd.
I'm hopeful about it.
Yeah, the last Dungeons and Dragons movie had issues.
It is still a fun movie.
Yeah, and I think we're not talking about any of the sequels, the straight-to-video sequels.
What sequels?
Yeah, we're talking about those like in theater. We'll do theatrical release D&D movies, which there was the one. It was fun. It had the news that came out is that they announced that they want to do this in. They're looking to have the feel of Guardians of the Galaxy. And I read an article where someone broke down all the reasons about why that's bad. and he said like people don't play Dungeons and Dragons to have these kind of like fun, goofy, campy adventures. So it's like this serious, dark thing. And all I could think every time this guy brought stuff up about people playing D&D, it's like I don't think this guy has ever played D&D. Now it can be dark. It can have really serious moments, but there's going to be that guy on the table that like just goofs off, or there's going to be that timely joke that someone tells, or there's all this just silly fun that happens at the same time, and that's what Dungeons and Dragons is about. That's why, man, I would play the crap out of a Guardians of the Galaxy movie role-playing game. Dear God, I want to do this so bad all of a sudden. You've got the Traveler books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is
pretty
like,
close.
Write it down.
Yeah.
You have a job. Yeah, we got to do that. We got to figure someone. Maybe I'll change my plans for Free RPG Day and run something like that.
See, and everybody has to be a playable raccoon.
Maybe because the free RPG stuff is most likely going to be pre-made characters. Maybe I hand people the cast. Ooh, this is a teaser. This is really tempting. I was looking at running 2 games, and that might be one of them now. But yeah, that excites me. That thought of like
I want to be excited, but it's hard.
The original D&D movie had problems with casting. The story was pretty cheesy. It was a little trite. It had problems with casting. The special effects, like their cuts between scenes where they'd like camera would like go up and around the tower, and it just looked really bad. And they had problems with casting too.
They have problems with casting?
Who put Marlon Wayans in that movie? Like, oh. And he wasn't... He was like...
I think he was supposed to represent that one guy who's always ridiculous, but...
Yeah, and like, he could be good. He was really good in Requiem for a Dream, and that's a dark movie. But Jimmy Olsen, Justin Whalen, don't ask me why I remember these actors' names. Just not good. Not a good choice. And who did they pass up for that? It had. I even forgot about this. Wasn't Jeremy Irons the bad guy?
He was in it.
He was in it.
Bad guy.
He was good. He's a good actor, but it's just not well written.
Good actor. He was.
Yeah.
Are you really?
If you bring up League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I will punch you. Because that movie is fantastic.
It is really.
I didn't bring it up either.
That movie is fantastic. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you read online. That movie is amazing. Okay. Next, you had mentioned. Well, it goes kind of in the same vein. The Warcraft movie had a new trailer, and that's like. There's a question. And this same idiot that wrote this article said, like, the Warcraft movie looks good because it's dark and that's how Warcraft is. And
so
like, he's never played
movies.
Warcraft. Mm-hmm. He's never played Warcraft either.
You just read from a guy who really likes dark movies.
I think I read from a guy that just he knows that like you go subject predicate in a sentence and then there's a period. And then they said, okay, like, you wear glasses, so you're a nerd, right? Write about the D&D movie. Write about the World of Warcraft movie. And he doesn't know crap about it. He's like, well, I wear glasses, so obviously I'm nerdy. Doopa.
Maybe it was just an internet bot that wrote the article.
Oh, God. I wouldn't be surprised if I got trolled and fell for it on that. Or there's just some guy, maybe it's like one of our 8 people that subscribes to this. It's like, oh, I'm going to get Kyle. Doopa. Well, the Warcraft movie looks fun. It looks a little ridiculous, but Warcraft looks a little ridiculous. It's oversized shoulder pads and weightless weapons. That's pretty much their entire aesthetic. It's all built around the one guy, Sam Hain. I can't remember what's the name he uses. You ever played World of Warcraft and you had an icon on your bar that didn't have art and it was just a picture of some guy's face with a goofy grin? That's their lead designer. That's the art designer of for Blizzard since like Warcraft 2, maybe original Warcraft, the old RTS. So all of that, like, blocky, big shoulder pads, all of that style is from this one guy, and it's fantastic.
And also, there's probably going to be talking pandas. But if there's not a scene after the credits that is all the dances of the races, I will be disappointed.
That movie should have some silliness to it. However, if it doesn't, if that is just a serious movie start to finish, I'm totally fine with that. Their cutscenes in their games,
those are all very serious.
Overwatch, their shooter comes out in like Blizzard's shooter comes out in June or July, I want to say. But when they first announced that like 2 years ago, they did it off of it was like a 4 or 5 minute video, and I thought that was a movie trailer. I had no idea. I was like, man, Blizzard's doing another movie, and this one's totally unique because it was like the feelings, the emotions that it put through were really good, and it was like the debut trailer for a first-person shooter.
I've been watching some beta gameplay of it, and it seems to play a lot like Team Fortress 2, but instead of like 4 to 5 classes per game, it's I think 25.
They're in the 20s now because they've been really smart, slowly revealing more and more. One of the neat things about it too is that when you die, you can change, and the game is designed for you to change classes in one match and change tactics. They all use roughly the same keys to do everything. The classes are all super. It's again, Team Fortress 2, all do the same thing. Super unique classes, very independent. But it's Blizzard too, so you kind of have your DPS and your support and your tank classes.
And you have one of the ones that was really interesting. It was a super squishy tank class, but when you got a couple kills, you could activate an ability that made you like the tank that could take the most damage. Like it didn't negate damage, but it lessened it to a point that it was negligible.
It also has a giant gorilla with like super smart with glasses because nerds wear glasses, obviously.
So it's Gorilla Grodd.
No, but he's a good guy, and I think his ultimate is that he just rages out.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I said we were going to rapid fire our news stuff.
Yeah,
right? We've done like 10 minutes on one.
2 out of 7.
Okay, next one we had Todd, because you brought this one up. So
the Magnificent Seven trailer just came out today.
It's really good.
With Denzel Washington and
Chris Pratt.
Ethan
Hawke, Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe, the movies, not the cartoon. It's just one cartoon ninja because it's oh damn it, it's the Seven Samurai, so they need something. They need someone that has martial arts, right?
Exactly.
It looks awesome. I didn't even recognize Denzel Washington at first. Chris Pratt, you pick up instantly. But yeah, that movie looks like it's going to be fun. A lot of fun. I'm gonna have to.
It looks like Guardians of the West, and it might just be because it has Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it did. It looks fun, but I can't say just yet whether it looks good.
Yeah,
fun definitely.
Like the D&D movie. D&D movie was fun. D&D movie was not good.
I'll watch it.
But they had issues with casting, so this movie does not. Next quick one. We had a first 3 were movies, and this one's really fast throwaway one. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. They released an image of Elizabeth Banks, who they cast as Rita Repulsa, and it's got people up in arms because the costume design is nowhere near what the TV show Rita Repulsa's was.
She honestly reminds me of like Poison Ivy. How Poison Ivy would show up in like the Gotham series.
Yeah. Oh, that would get me to something else. It reminded me actually of the Species movies from the 90s. That's just really like, it's good like campy villain design. Just, is it so far off from the TV show Rita Repulsa that it's going to hurt the movie?
Well, a lot of it's probably still going to be aimed towards the same age group who may not have actually seen the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and they've seen one of the 23 sequels to Power Rangers.
Yeah, and that's a good point. If it's focused on kids, or if they're doing, maybe it's in the story. Maybe this is like she's resurrected, or like she takes over a younger body or something, or I don't.
Or it's her daughter named Rita. So it's Rita Repulsa Jr.
Rita Repulsa returns. We'll stick with alliteration. So yeah, I want to bring up what you said. You said looks like from Gotham. Did you see Mr. Freeze from Gotham?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he looks like damn it, he looks like Mugatu from Zoolander. He looks so bad. That's exactly what it looks like. I'm behind. I'm not in this season of Gotham, but I've been following a little bit, and I want to get into it. And now that one shot makes me just nope. I'm good because I don't want to see it get to there. I don't want to watch it now, and maybe that's me, just because of one thing, but.
One of the ones I had on my list mine are all video games for this segment, but Quantum Break for the Xbox One and PC.
We got someone at the door. Give it a second. Tom's gonna go check it out.
Time out.
Yeah, I have Quantum Break sitting at home. Someone bought a 360 bought an Xbox One like at Walmart. With that bundle, and they're like, oh, what's this game? I don't want it. And they traded it in to Rose. And Rose was like, this is in the system. I said, give him the normal value. I want to take it. It's mine. But I haven't played it yet because I'm still, I can't stop playing The Division. And I'm falling into the MMO trap, though, of like, I play it to do my dailies and do a couple dungeons and missions and maybe get some gear. And then I'm done. It's like, The Division, I'm going to stop. I will come back to this because I'm completely co-opting Mitch right now. I've taken over. He said Quantum Break, and I just went. So, Mitch, Quantum Break.
I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I've been watching. I just got an Xbox One, so I had been watching playthroughs of it because I didn't have an Xbox One, and so it was a game that I was interested in, but
we had UPS or FedEx. We had a delivery. That's what the pound on the door was. Sorry. Again. I'm just covering my mouth.
But I didn't think I would get a chance to play it because I don't have a PC that could run it because it looks amazing. And to lower the graphics settings on it to be able to play it on my PC would be sacrilege. Like, it is a beautiful game.
I'm nodding for people listening. Okay, go ahead. I really am covering my mouth.
There are some time travel tropes that are sort of expected because it's about time, so there's going to be some time tropes that. But I don't want to spoil too much because you haven't played it yet. But it looks like a ton of fun, and the powers come quick and amazing.
You ever see that movie About Time? It was with Justin Timberlake. It was like time was a currency. Essentially, you had a countdown timer on your forearm.
It looked really good, but I never actually got around to seeing it.
I thought it was really good. It
was a bit.
Yeah, I really like that movie. I don't think it's well reviewed, but it's a good. I think a lot of like the decent kind of nerdy sci-fi movies don't get all that well reviewed, unless they're super artsy, like Ex Machina, which I haven't watched yet, but my wife, I saw the end of it, because my wife was watching when I came home, and I walked in to, like, the big, like, capitulation at the end of the movie. I was like, oh, okay, well, I couldn't have avoided that one.
It's like walking into the end of Soylent Green, where it says Soylent Green is people.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, spoilers.
No, like, I walked in and was like, oh, it's like, I'm trying to think of, like, okay, Age of Ultron. I'll spoil that a little bit if you haven't seen it. I'll do that. It's like you walk in and you're like, oh, what are you watching? And you look over and you see Vision lift up Thor's hammer. Like, that to me is like a major part of the movie. Or the original Avengers, like my secret is I'm always angry. Like, it was a bigger thing like that than that. And maybe the Sixth Sense, finding out the secret behind that.
Yeah,
that was similar to that.
I like how we are careful not to spoil the one that's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense. Yeah, that's true. For the Division, the Division came out with their first raid, essentially, a 4-person incursion where you just fight off 15 waves of stuff while something bombs you, and it's insanely hard because that game is mostly, I think, for the majority of people, it's pickup groups, and that's impossible. You need to have like a leader, and you need to have coordination, and people need to be working together and have it like, oh, it is, when I get on and there aren't people for me to play with, I've tried it a couple times and it's not fun without that. And now I think what they could do to make it better is if they made it like 6 people instead of a normal 4-person group, that would even it out. Also, I don't know how this APC is launching mortars indoors. That mortars that take this long to get to their target. It's essentially like double-sized explosions that will kill you no matter if they hit you. Period.
See, it's Magneto.
I just stop. No.
He's like,
why do they get there faster then? Why doesn't he just take your guns?
They don't pay him to do that. He said, hey, toy with him. Throw him really slow.
So, we may have spoiled some of this for Mitch, but, because I don't know, do you watch Game of Thrones at all?
No.
Okay. Do you have any interest in watching Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay. Game of Thrones comes back on Sunday. This is, Todd comes over to our place and we watch it when it's on. And we're super excited. We totally missed that this was happening until like 2 days ago when I talked about our employee meeting on Sunday. And there's a lot going on. My wife just rewatched the finale and it had like a 5-minute, what she watched had a 5-minute, like, here's what's going on, here's what happened to the characters, what's going on with the characters. If you are not caught up through Game of Thrones, we're going to talk about that for a moment right now. I need to have been writing down these damn times. They have, God, so everybody, obviously Jon Snow is dead. Like, I don't want to go into anything that he might not be dead. He's dead. He's one of the most well-liked characters, but he's dead. Although didn't Melisandre just rode into Castle Black at the end of last season. So there is someone potentially that could bring him back, but I'm pretty sure he's just dead. And she really likes Jon. See, now I'm starting to doubt myself. What else?
They're gonna bring back the angry elf.
Who's the angry elf?
I don't know his real name. The one guy who died on the toilet.
Oh, it wasn't an elf.
No, not in that show, but he played in
Someone. What did he play?
Tywin?
Yeah, Tywin Lannister. What did
Yeah,
he play
I
an
remember.
elf in? And that's
Well-
that's a season back. That's farther.
So there's a limit to her powers.
Well, we don't know. Like
Exactly.
we're outside of canon territory at
And,
this
and
point.
he wasn't actually an elf. It's in elf.
And he was in Elf.
Yeah, he was
Charles
the
Dance.
he was the secret writer that they brought in.
Oh no, that's Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage didn't die on the toilet. He killed his dad when he was on the toilet.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
I just saw something the other day that had Peter Dinklage in it, and it was the Underdog movie. He was the bad guy. I totally forgot, didn't even realize that. That is probably one of my favorite movies that has the absolute worst reviews ever. I don't understand because that movie's super fun. We've got oh god,
Arya.
Arya. Arya's a big question. What's up with her? Especially in the trailers when they say like, "You've been given a second chance. You won't get a third."
Mm-hmm.
So does she get her sight back, or
she learns how to fight like Daredevil.
yeah? Yeah. Also, on Wednesday, I shared out a link to the Daredevil, a trailer for some in-game footage of the Daredevil video game. You should definitely check out.
It's really good.
It looks awesome.
That's on the game, facebook.com/thegamehub. So, but yeah, Todd. What's it? Reek and Sansa. I never.
Yeah, really-
Theon. That's what I was
I'm
saying.
really curious what happens with.
Yeah, so that's a long fall. I'm really curious. I like Theon's character. I like his character arc, but there's something from the end of 2 seasons back that they haven't done, and that's Asha. That's his sister saying, like, I'm taking a boat and I'm gonna go find my brother.
Yeah, she's
And-
in the trailer.
So yeah, and she's really like just a flash quick in the trailer. And so what's gonna happen with her? Does she find him, and does Brienne kill her in a forest somewhere? Because there's the other one, Brienne and Stannis. Did Stannis die, or did Brienne?
And what's Brienne going to go on to do now?
Yeah. Oh god, the one that made me super sad, because again, it was that end of the video thing was like Jaime Lannister finally for a few minutes got to feel what it feels like to be a father, and then it's gone because he hasn't been able to be a father because he's also the uncle of that kid. But she's like, I know. Like, I've known for a long time, and I totally accept it. And like, I'm glad you're my father. And they hug, and then she starts bleeding from her face and dies. So that boat should just turn around. That's what should happen, or Jaime, like, jumps off. But there's some serious political fallout that's going to come out of that one.
Oh yes.
And I'm excited to see that and see the Sand Vipers.
Mm-hmm.
They really hyped them up last season, and it was really unexciting.
Yeah.
Except for the scene we can't talk too much about between one of them and Bronn when Bronn was captured and poisoned.
That was pretty fun.
Bronn. I want to see what happens with Bronn. Bronn should be everybody's favorite character because he is one of the most charismatic. And he sings really well. Actually, you want to see something incredibly enjoyable. I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in an '80s duo that did covers. And there is a music video of him singing Up on the Roof, and it is so 80s. But he sings really well. The scene before the Battle of Blackwater, when he's there in the tavern and he's singing, that was him. That was him singing that. It's good. Yeah, Game of Thrones Sunday, HBO Go. I have no idea what time it is on because I don't think anybody really knows what time things are on anymore except for my parents because they're the only people I know who watch everything live. Wow. They tried to DVR. My dad didn't like it. So
just couldn't figure it out.
So they got rid of it. It's not. It's not. We're not going to use it. He called up Mediacom and said, "Come take this back. give me my whole TV back. I got a VCR." It's like, Dad, you can pause a baseball game. I don't need to do that. Yeah, you do. You fall asleep during them all the time. Moving on. Dark Souls board game Kickstarter started, I guess technically, since we're saying it's Thursday, it started 2 days ago. But we're recording this Wednesday. As of now, they had a goal of $70,000, and it took them 3 minutes. My comment on that was they have 2 very experienced marketing departments behind this game. Still, $70,000 in 3 minutes is nothing to balk at. But currently they're just shy of $1 million. And that's impressive. Obviously impressive. The game looks good.
The figures look awesome.
Oh, man. I was just listening to the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast earlier, and they were discussing miniature board games and like, is a tactical miniatures game a board game? Like they referred to X-Wing miniatures as a board game, but they referred to Zombicide as a tactical miniatures game, and I think they have those completely backwards. But there's so many games now where like they're good board games, and then they have these amazing miniatures put in them too, like everything Cool Mini or Not does. Like I want to buy Rum and Bones just for the pirate minis, and the second edition one coming out that has the white whale pirate captain.
Yes, that one's good.
That one, like I'm really trying not to kickstart that because I don't need another big campaign kind of board game like that. But it's looks so good. But anyways, the minis in the Dark Souls board game look amazing. The gameplay they're describing actually is strategic, and you need to learn the fights and learn the windows and use this ability at this point, and you have your class, and it's very thematic to the video game.
And it looks like from what one of the developers was showing that like for a boss fight there will be like 5 cards that you have, and one of them was face down, so I don't know what that was about, but the top 4 were face up. So it's like you have to defeat the stages of the boss, and then maybe flip over the last card, and that's like his final form.
Or maybe it's like every round you flip over the next card, and they shuffle. So like it's like, okay, now he's using this ability, and you need to be able to deal with that. So you learn their pattern, and then you go through it again. It's like, okay.
Because it did say you need to learn the pattern of each boss, so it could be a set order that you have to do.
Yeah. And if it was fixed, like if it was just printed on the card and here's the order, the replay would be really boring. But if it was a random order, if it was like, okay, here's the 10 things, take 5 of those cards, shuffle them up, that's their abilities, that gets really good. Time Stories had a real neat mechanic for a dungeon crawl recently, where you take 5 cards and you shuffle them up, and they're all map cards, or 6 cards. Then you took 5 out and you dealt them out side by side, and all the paths from each card would connect to the next, and you had to get from one end to the other. So then, like, every time you played it, every time you got to that point, the dungeon was different. So you had to round your abilities getting to that point, instead of being like, oh, okay, I know we need this, and the other thing. And I really liked that. So that's what I hope the boss fights for Dark Souls board game. I think in the end, for me, again, I'm probably not going to kickstart it, but or I might just kickstart it for Cameron, because I know Cameron, a friend of ours. He's gotten into me on a couple other things. The next one coming out is The Others by Cool Mini or Not. And we've got, I think, his Wolfsburg expansion for Zombicide Black Plague comes in this week. He's definitely interested in that because I've been texting him all the time. But yeah, the Dark Souls board game Kickstarter looks awesome. Check it out, or don't and come in like a year and buy it from us, please. I wrote Mitch's Mysteries as our other things.
But I'll make them quick because I know we're pretty.
Yeah, we're tight on time, but we don't have a lot left, so it's fine. We're about on track for us.
So So one of the games that I can't say excited, I have to say hopeful. Deus or Deuce, I don't know if you say Deus, but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But Deus Ex, Mankind Divided for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. I really, really liked the games on the original Xbox, but Human Revolution, the one for I believe PS3 and 360, fell kind of flat, and there was part of why people didn't like it is there was one decision you made in the game that, if you did it, made one of the boss fights not impossible but unnecessarily difficult. It was one decision that if it's a yes or no decision, and if you say yes, one of the bosses gets to turn off all of the abilities that you've spent. So imagine playing Skyrim.
What was it? I played the game. Until I don't think I finished. Like I have the very last section to do.
Well, there was a guy who's like, "Hey, you want me to upgrade your system?" And if you say yes, then imagine going against the final boss in Skyrim, and he's like, "Oh, you took that upgrade, so now all of your skill trees are gone for this fight."
So, like, he just disables you?
He just completely disables all of your powers.
Wow. Because I was like, I don't know what he's talking about exactly. I totally don't want to finish that game now.
So
I really liked it for the story.
Yeah.
The story of Mankind Divided was awesome because it's like how it was like how much of your humanity is left with all these implants and all this other stuff. It's like, and it was really good, and that's where they're going into with Mankind Divided. Is that the continuation of that story?
And one of the major things is.
I think I said that backwards.
Well, you said Mankind Divided both times.
Yeah, Human Revolution was the one that had that story, and then Mankind Divided is the new one that's the continuation of the story.
But you could do like a full stealth build, and so like you're squishy, you have no health upgrades, you aren't very good at combat, and like your combat tactic is to try to disappear, hide, sneak up behind him, and hit. And he disables every piece of that.
Wow.
So it's like you have to play the game a certain way in order to be able to face that boss.
You don't get to finish the game in the way that you wanted to.
Yeah.
Wow, that really does suck.
Yeah, so like that made a lot of people really mad. And like I said, it's not an impossible boss fight, it's just, the game wasn't necessarily about running and gunning, and if you took that option, that's what it came down to, which was really against a lot of players' playstyles. Which hopefully they will fix.
I heard that in that game there was a separate game developer that made the boss fights compared to the rest of the game.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
So there was like kind of a disconnect between those.
That would make a lot of sense, because the boss fights were like contained single room boss fights, whereas the rest of the game was fairly open.
Mm-hmm. If they'd done it where it was like a timed thing, like he could
eventually
it was like every minute he like hits a button and your stuff goes down for 15 seconds. Yeah. Then like it was something you could work around that wasn't constant. I guess that could be better. But yeah, totally disabling your stuff because of one decision without giving you any kind of recourse.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would suck.
But and then the last one I have, I'm a little wary of it because it says it's supposed to come out in August for Xbox One, PS4, PC, and PlayStation 3.
Is it Rockstar or EA?
No.
Okay.
It's Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Or go ahead.
But, and I've seen a lot of I guess you would call them indie games, and some of them are basically just tech demos based on Attack on Titan that do the whole system very, very well. They have like you can, when you're grappling, it kind of slows down time a little bit, so you can like grapple there, and then you pull yourself forward. Or as you're going, you can hit a corner, and then that'll swing you around the corner.
You know why it's on the PS3? It's the move. It's the PS3 move, so you have to.
No.
Oh God.
No. Oh, I didn't even think.
And
What
then
if it's a
then it's
Kinect game? That would be so bad.
Like Fable Journey.
Yeah.
Like-
Attack on Titan. Like, it sounds like we hate it. Like, I love Attack on Titan. I think we all do. I don't know if Todd's seen much about it, but he clearly knows a lot about it because we talk about it. I don't think it would be too hard to do. I wouldn't do all that intricacy because I think it would just be like a flight game.
Well, like I'll have to show it to you sometime. Like it's really, really well done. You can.
It sounds like it would almost be like a motion game version of Shadows of Colossus.
Yeah.
Might
The
be
big
kinda cool, but
big thing that they point out in the show and it comes out is like they're 3D movement devices or omnidirectional movement devices, depending on where in the show you're listening, because they change. It seems like they changed dubbing companies and some of the words change. It locks into buildings and stuff, and so they can fight them in the city just fine. When they go out of the city, they can't really fight them as effectively because there's nothing to pull them up because they have to cut them. It's like a 6 or a 2 meter section in the back of the neck. That's the only way to kill a Titan. So to get up there, like they're latching into the Titans, and then you're really, really restricted. Or if you're in an open field, like that's your only option.
But depending on how they do that mechanic will really depend on how good the game is. Will really depend on how well they do that mechanic.
Yeah, I agree. So I have good hopes for it. Now I don't know if you know about this because I'm gonna add in one of mine. See, I waited till you were done this. An Attack on Titan board game. I don't know if you've seen this.
I haven't.
It's a vertical board, and you move your figures up. Oh, it looks pretty awesome. I've seen pictures and I've read little bits about people playing it. I think they played it at Gen Con last year. That was when they first debuted like prototypes.
I just pictured a Price is Right game, just so you know, when you described that.
Oh, like the yodeling guy going up the mountain. Like, let's don't fall off. Like, I'm gonna try to bring it up for Mitch right now on my phone. If anyone's listening, Attack on Titan board game. Where are we? Attack on Titan board game looks like hell, plays like a demon. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's a really, they're.
Oh, it's got little meeples.
Yeah, you hop the meeples up the Titan.
Oh, so are you fighting against Eren?
There's a building too. I don't know. Like they, I haven't read this article, but I like.
I'm also going to insert some images.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. The meeple one with him on Eren the Titan is pretty awesome. That's the main character. You can turn it into a Titan. Spoilers, but whatever.
See, and that'll be interesting because most likely they'll try to put that in the game somehow too, and so
if I played that game, I wouldn't want to play a main character.
See, I wouldn't either. I would want it to be like it's in the universe and you might see them, but it'd be better if you weren't Aaron.
You have your own story.
If I wanted to play be a character, I'd
Be Mikasa.
Yeah, that's what I want to play as Mikasa. Armin Arlert is my favorite character. Also, one of the absolute worst names for any fictional character in things. Armin Arlert.
Oh man,
God, it's so rough. But he's a nerdy kid, and he's not that good at fighting, but he apparently is good enough. Really, he just gets carried through everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like Orman from last week. Oh no, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Orman, Prince of the Nerds. We're just gonna move on. We're getting off topic, and we're running out of time. So some of the stuff coming up in the store. We got naturally Friday Night Magic tomorrow night. Saturday for Magic players, we have a Grand Prix trial for Los Angeles. This is a first of two. Our next one is in another 2 weeks. Starts at 10 a.m. It's modern. Get down here, it starts, sign-ups at 10, and we start at 11. If you're not here at 11, then, and you show up at 11:10, we can add you in with a loss. That's how it is. Prizes are hefty. I think we're doing 8 packs per player that joins, $20. But it's, if you like extra competitive Magic, and then in Modern, which is super competitive as well, definitely come down. The prize support's worth it because we're in California and it's a Los Angeles trial. Make your way to Lower Lake. It's definitely worth it. Next week on Wednesday for role-playing games, we're doing No Thank You Evil. I forgot. I almost said No Thank You Los Angeles. No Thank You Evil. It's the kids' role-playing game. My daughter is super excited to come down and do this. I'm just hoping that we get at least one other parent and kid, because it's an introductory role-playing game for young kids, and it's awesome. I'm going to run it. My daughter's going to play, and we're going to have a blast. It's a ton of fun. That's going to be about 5:30 to 7:30-ish. Probably keep it a little shorter, maybe just an hour, because keeping the kids focused for 2 hours would be pretty tough. But that's on Wednesday, next week on the 27th. The last one, it's farther away, but on the 30th, a week from this Saturday, again, is Tabletop Day. And we got a lot going on. We're adding more. Obviously, tons of board games, all this stuff behind us, and there's a lot more out that you can't see if you're watching. I almost lost my shoulder there. We're going to be demoing specifically King of Tokyo, a couple others that I'm totally blanking out right now. Some entry level games. Takanoko, yeah. We're going to be streaming all day long in cooperation with Geek and Sunder too, so that's awesome. Thank you. And that's going to be the kickstart for, I don't know if you know this yet, but Pathfinder Society. That's going to be the big start where Gary's going to come down. He's cleared it. He's going to do character creation and probably first episode on Tabletop Day. And I think
I'm going to try to participate in the game.
I think he put in 11 a.m. For the start time for that. I'm not sure. It's on our website or on Facebook. And yeah, that's about it. I want to thank everyone for listening and or watching. If you've been watching, I apologize for that. If you've been listening, I apologize a little less. You can find us online on Facebook, facebook.com/thegamehub. You can find us on Twitter @thegamehub. I said that one wrong last time. On Instagram @therealgamehub. And yeah, thegamehub.net. We're located in Lower Lake, California, right across from the Tower Mart on Highway 53. Right across from the gas station. There's just go the game. Put the Game Hub into Google, and we come up. We're the first ones. If we don't go the Game Hub Lower Lake into Google and go, where are you? It's if you can't find places these days, then you're probably my dad.
We're open from noon to 9.
Yeah, noon to 9 every day. And that's it. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk at you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We went.
We should end with what 5 we're doing.